lightning
That's
round.
what this was.
So what TV show, and it is light, but we'll get back to some serious issues, but what TV show other than Close Up on Sunday mornings do you guys like to binge watch? Congressman.
Well, there's plenty. I'm pretty much a big still Seinfeld fan.
Okay. Congresswoman?
I like Morning Joe. I especially liked it the other day when he said that the stimulus kept the country from falling into a depression.
Okay. And Mr. O'Connor?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm trying to get away, I like Chicago Med. My dad was a doctor who ran a Pay What You Can clinic, and so medical issues and access to healthcare has always been important to me, and I enjoy Chicago Med.
And Mr. O'Connor, if you are not elected, what are you going to do for work?
Yeah, so I'm going to continue to do what I was doing after I sold my company and before I started running for Congress, which is I'm going to continue to be a nonprofit leader here in New Hampshire. I'm on the board of City Year New Hampshire. I'm on leave right now for my candidacy. I'm on the board of the Red River Theater in Concord, and I've been on the board of St. Matthew's Episcopal Church in Goffstown, and I'm going to continue my nonprofit activities because I want to get back to the community.
Round,
sure.
Right. So, Congresswoman, if you're not elected in this term, what are you going to do until 2018? Just kidding. But you know what I'm saying.
Right. Well, I plan to do what I've spent my whole life doing, which is helping other people. That's been my life mission. I learned it from my parents. It's a life of purpose, and that's what I plan to do.
Thank you, ma'am. Congressman?
Well, we're running a strong campaign, and we hope to earn everyone's vote on September 8th. I will be going back to Washington next week to continue the work, and then for the next 2 years on behalf of the Granite Staters.
Yeah. Answer, just in
just
case.
for all the voters out there,
Just
it's
in
November
case,
8th.
right.
Just to make sure. No backup plan, though?
No, we're focusing on winning this re-election.
All right, let's talk about infrastructure a little bit. Would you support, Congressman, a federal gas tax to improve the roads and bridges? A hike in it?
No, I have not supported a federal increase in the gas tax. I think we have about a $50 billion annual obligation. I served on the Transportation Committee. I worked to increase the amount of money that came to New Hampshire in my first term and in my second term.
No.
We were able to do that. The best way you can get that additional $20 billion that we need, which is the shortfall, is from the lease payments of gas and oil exploration.
Congresswoman, would you support a hike in the gas tax to fix the roads and bridges?
I think that I would be willing to compromise on pretty much anything because we know how desperate we need to work on our infrastructure. So this is one of the areas where we have to compromise, but we can't push it off. We can't say just go drilling, especially when we're now working on green energy and we know we have environmental issues.
So it's on the
and
table.
Climate
All right,
change.
fair
So
enough.
put
Mr.
everything out there and work on it.
I would not support an increase in the gas tax. I think that the best way to fund our infrastructure is to bury the Northern Pass lines along the interstate, which would give us a licensing fee that has to be used for transportation infrastructure in the state. I think that's the best way to pay for infrastructure without raising taxes.
Mr. O'Connor, would you fight for federal money for commuter rail into New Hampshire?
Yes, but I think we need a fiscally responsible plan similar to what Providence did, where the state buys the locomotives and then we just pay the MBTA for the service, because that's a financially responsible way to support commuter rail.
Congresswoman?
Well, that's not going to work. You should probably read the report. But let me say that we do need rail, and we need this to keep our young workforce here. They are looking for that. So many are commuting, and so yes, of course we want to make the air as clean as possible. We want transportation to be there. We want energy efficiency. So sure,
okay.
Absolutely.
And Congressman, federal money for commuter rail. What do you think?
Look, I just don't think that's realistic at the moment. We need to grow New Hampshire's economy, not continue to have this idea of shipping jobs out of the state of New Hampshire down to Massachusetts. We're having about 100,000 people leave a day. I want people coming here. Growing the economy here. That's what we should be focusing on, not trying to ship people out to Massachusetts.
I'm going to wrap up with this. New Hampshire activist Jerry DeLemus is in a federal prison right now in Nevada for facing several charges for his role in the Bundy Ranch standoff back in 2014. His supporters and many people who were there say that he was there as a peacemaker. Do you believe that his arrest is an example of federal overreach, perhaps?
You know, this is a serious issue. The Bundys were found not guilty in October. Mr. DeLemus is a Rochester resident and a constituent. He's a Marine. He's active in his church, and I've always known him as a peaceful individual. He went out there in a peacekeeping mission. Do I think that there was government overreach here? Yes, I do. Not just with the BLM, but with the legal process. I hope that these charges are resolved, and I pray for him and his family.
What's your take on this, Congresswoman?
Well, Mr. Ginter wrote a letter of recommendation for him, a character reference, and I think that maybe Mr. Ginter didn't go to his website and follow him. I know that you went to speak often to the 9/12 Tea Party in Rochester. So I know that you were closely affiliated with that right-wing group, but I think you probably
the
should
question,
have read more.
You're talking about a Marine.
Talking about the
You're
question.
talking about
So-
a Marine and a constituent
And my
from your
husband,
hometown.
and my husband was in the Army, and I think we still have the ability to talk about this. These are serious charges. I don't know, because I am not going to be,
Should
in
he
the
granted
court.
bail? I mean,
but,
he's,
you're asking us to make a decision that is not in our hands and should not be in our hands. So, I have to
Okay.
ask why you would write a letter of character for him. I think you should let the system. I believe in the legal system, and I think we should let it
You
work
can have
itself
30
out.
seconds.
I
if you want
do
to.
believe in the legal system, and I want the legal system to take to have due process here. I've met him. I know him. He's a Marine. He fought for our nation. He's active in his church. He communicated to me that he was going out to out to Oregon and Nevada in a peacekeeping scenario. And now the Bundys have been acquitted. So
His
I would
son
like to
said
have
he was
him.
ready to do harm.
He-
We
no-
don't know.
All right, we got to move forward.
We don't know, but his
Ed,
son did
are you
say
following
that.
this at all? Do you have
Sure,
a
yes.
position?
So I think that that this should be left to the judicial system. I trust in our judicial system. I am an attorney, and I believe that justice will prevail in this case as long as Mr. DeLemus has proper defense counsel.
All right, fair enough.